Well, happy Monday. Happy Friday to everybody. I'm sure you guys don't want it to be Monday. You prefer it to be Friday. Um, so we are at the final game of the June 30th schedule. We will wrap up the whole month of June after this game. And then on Monday, start July the 1st day. But before that, I will do a video, probably put it up on Sunday some point, probably record it tomorrow, put it up at some point on Sunday, a video just on the Strat computer showing the standings, showing the stats, the league leaders, and whatnot on how this league is doing through 520 some odd games through the month of June. So that will be posted most likely on Sunday, but I'll probably record it tomorrow at some point. It is the Milwaukee Brewers and the Detroit Tigers. Good morning, Philip. Detroit Tigers and Milwaukee Brewers. Dan Petry against Mark Clear. Mark Clear is coming out of the bullpen. He made one start real world, and this is it. He's not even rated as a starter. He's only rated as a relief pitcher. I looked up the real game. He went 3 innings, so I'm going to limit him to 3 innings. And then after the game, after his 3 innings in real world, they brought in Chuck Krim for 4 innings. So that's my plan here. He's going to go 3 innings. I don't care if he's got a no-hitter. He's only going 3 innings. And then Chuck Krim will come in and piggyback off him starting in the 4th. Of course, he might only make it to 2 innings, depending on how well he pitches. I don't know. But anyways, this is his only start, so we'll have to work around that. It is game number 524 overall in the replay. We're at County Stadium, which is symmetrical. Singles are 1-6. Home runs 1-5. Tigers won the real game 8-5. Detroit comes in 38-34, and Milwaukee comes in 50-22. Best record in the league. Good morning, Dr. D. Okay, so let's first off look at Mark Clear. Like I said, this is his first start, first and only start real world. He did not have any, or he did not, he's not rated for Strat as a starter. You can see it just says pitcher relief. That's it. So I'm limiting him to 3 innings. That's the max he can go. So on the 87 season, he was 8-5 with a 4.48 ERA. And in the replay so far, he is, and he also has 6 saves real world. In the replay, though, he's doing much, much better. He's 2-3, but he's only got a 2.11 ERA with 2 saves, 38 innings pitched, 26 hits, 20 walks, 45 strikeouts. And again, he is limited to 3 innings max, no matter what. His hold, he is a +1 hold. Surhoff is a 0, so he has a +1 hold. His wild pitch is 8, and his balk is a 0. And leading things off for the Tigers will be Lou Whitaker, second baseman. Whitaker hitting .297 on the replay, 16 homers, 54 driven in. He hit .265 real world. And of course, before the first pitch, we have the ceremonial first sip. And we are ready to go. Mark Clear. Hello, Jeremiah. Mark Clear facing Whitaker. It's a 1-5 for Sweet Lou, and he's going to ground it to second base, and that's going to be an easy play for Jim Gantner. Good morning, Joel. Easy play for Gantner. And that's helpful for Clear. He wants to keep his pitch count down. There's Bill Madlock, designated hitter. Madlock on the replay hitting .256, 2 homers, 6 driven in. He hit .279 real world. Hit a 5-3 on Clear, and that's a strikeout. So this is like the Brewers, I guess, if you want to think about it in modern terms, it's like he is their opener. Clear is like their opener. They didn't have openers back then, but he's kind of like their opener. It's basically a bullpen day is what it is. Why they didn't start Krim and have Clear come in and relieve, I don't know what the Travelhorn's thoughts were, because Krim had been doing a lot of starting. So I don't know what the history is behind that. But Or here's Kirk Gibson hitting 328 on the replay, 13 homers, 41 driven in. He hit 277 real world. That's a 2-6, and that's just another strikeout for Clear. 3 up, 3 down inning for Mark Clear. If you hear a little buzzing in the background, that is my window unit air conditioner. It's supposed to be 100 degrees today. It's already 90. And so I'm upstairs. Heat rises, so got to have it. On a day like today, we got to have it. So, and I'll just deal with whatever noise comes out. All right, so Dan Petry on the mound for the Tigers. Petry in the 87 season, 9-7, 5.61 ERA. And on the replay to this point, he is 5-3 with a 5.13 ERA. 72 innings pitched, 60 hits, 41 walks, 44 strikeouts. And he'll be facing left fielder Mike Felder. Felder hitting 341 on the replay and just 88 at bats. No homers, 9 driven in. He had 266 real world. Switch hitter. That's a 5-7. Switch hitter, 5-7. Ground ball, second base X, our first X chance, and it belongs to Lou Whitaker. Whitaker is a 2E20. 2E20 for Whitaker. So as a 2, it basically just needs a 3 or higher to get to this. And 8 just be just fine. 20 as a second baseman, he's got to avoid 3, 13, 18, and 17, which he does. So Whitaker makes the play on Felder. On away. That'll bring up Robin Yount. Yount is hitting 319 on the replay, 16 homers, 64 driven in. He had 312 real world. That's a 3-7 for Yount, and he strikes out. Strikeout number 1 for Petry. 2 up, 2 down for the designated hitter Cecil Cooper, and he's almost at the end of his career. At this point, he's had 217 at bats in the replay. He only had 250 real world in the whole season, so I imagine he's almost done. 212 on the replay, 8 homers, 27 driven in. He had 248 real world. 3-6, and that is a 1-4 single. Anything else, 5-20 is a liner to second, and that's a liner that Lou Whitaker snags to end the inning. So no score either way. Hello, Kirk. 1 inning to play, and we're scoreless here at County Stadium. Moving on to the top of the second. And it'll be the league's leading hitter in the replay, Alan Trammell. He's still just above that 400 mark. He's at 401 on the replay in 252 at-bats. 15 homers, 57 driven in. He had 343 real world. That's a 4-5 for Clear. Struck him out. So Clear is really, in his limited time as get a chance to be a starter, he's making the most of it. We are going to cap him at 3 innings. Here's Matt Noakes, catcher. Noakes hitting 315 on the replay. 21 homers, 63 driven in. He had 289 real world. 6'10 lefty. Ground ball third base X. That's going to take us to the third baseman, Ernest Riles. He is a 4E28. Oh, 4-2. That's a base hit. 4-2 is a single. And let's see here. He is an E28 at third base. So he's got to avoid 11, 13, 14, and 15. And 16, he just does avoid the error. But it will be the base hit for Matt Noakes as he sneaks it by Riles. Noakes, of course, is no threat to run. Here's Pat Sheridan, right fielder, hitting 242 on the replay. 4 homers, 20 driven in. He had 259 in the actual season. Nothing on the Havoc. 4-7, and that's a base home balls for Clear. His first walk. First and second, 1 out for the first baseman, Darrell Evans. Evans hitting 276 on the replay. 17 homers, 46 driven in. He is 257 real world. 1-2, and that's a ballpark blast for Darrell Evans. It's only a 1-5 at County Stadium. And it's an 8, so it's a deep fly to right field, hauled in by Rob Deere. 2 down. So Evans just missed it. Now it's up to Chet Lemon in a clutch situation. Lemon in the clutch will lose 1 hit on 312. Everywhere else he is neutral. Lemon on the replay hitting 234, 5 homers, 20 driven in. He at 277 real world. 4-3, and that's a fly ball left field X. We're looking at Felder, and Felder is a 2E11. So as a 2 outfielder, he just needs to have a 4 or higher on the D20 to make the play. And he does that. So now we're looking at the E11. E11, he's got to avoid 4, 3, 4, 13, 15, 16, and 18. And 10 is just fine. So Felder makes the play, and Clear gets out of the mess. So we'll go to the bottom of the second. Still nothing cooking here at County Stadium. And leading off for the Brew Crew is going to be Greg Brock, first baseman. Brock hitting 332 on the replay. 6 homers, 36 driven in. He at 299 real world. 1-6, and that's going to be a fly to right field. Hauled in by Sheridan, 1 away. That'll bring up Rob Deere. Deere hitting 242 on the replay. 9 homers, 36 driven in. He at 238 real world. 4-9 on Petry. Split 1-4 is a single. 5-20 he lines it to Trammell. And that's going to fall in for a base hit. It's going to sneak right past Trammell. First hit of the game for the Brewers. Belongs to Deere. Now Petry is a +4 hold, so Deere's going to try to get the lead. He needs a 7. It's the only way he gets a good lead. Doesn't get it, so he'll hold. There's B.J. Surhoff. Surhoff hitting 315 on the replay. 6 homers, 25 driven in. He at 299 real world. 2-8. I'm sorry, 3-7. I don't know where I got dyslexic with the 2 and the 3 there. 3-7 for Surhoff. 3-7 is a 1-10 double. 11-20 is going to be a single. 2 stars either way. And that is going to be a double. I'll put runners at second and third with only 1 out for Ernest Riles. And the Tigers don't want to give up a cheap run, so they got the infield in the second inning. They don't want to give up a cheap run at all. Riles is hitless. He's only had 2 at-bats since being called up. So he's 0 for 2. But in the real season, Ernest Riles hit 261, 4 home runs. But the infield is in. 4-9, and that's a fly ball right field B, so it doesn't matter. The B5 fly ball is a sacrifice fly. And that will score the first run of the game. Ernest Riles gets his first run batted in of the season with a sacrifice fly to right field. Sheridan has a good arm, but not that good. And the Brew Crew take a 1-0 lead. So with 2 outs and a runner at second, we have Jim Gantner in the clutch situation. Gantner in the clutch will lose hits on 110, and that appears to be it, 110. Gantner hitting 293 on the replay, 4 homers, 25 driven in. He at 272 real world. 5-2, and that's a ground ball back to Petry to end the inning. So the Brewers get 1, but they do leave a runner at third base. And we go to the third. This will be the final inning for Mark Clear, one way or the other because of his fatigue. Making this spot start. He'll be out there. Good morning, Chuck. And Chuck, this one is just for you. I took this yesterday. I don't think I've showed it before. I don't think I have, but there you go. She was up here on my table yesterday when I was getting ready for my Rockies video. She was sitting here just not letting me do my thing. So if she wants to get on the table, she wants to get on the table. That's all I can tell you. So there you go. Fortunately, she's downstairs, and I'm able to do this without any delay. All right, so here's Tom Brookins. Brookins on the replay is hitting 231, 4 homers, 22 driven in. He at 241 real world. 4-8, and that's a walk. Second walk issued by Clear. Brookins does have a 6 or a 7. It is a +1 hold. So if he got the lead, it would be a 1-14. He's going to attempt the lead, needs a 6 or a 7. And he gets the lead. He's going to go. Tom Brookins. Let's look at his stolen base prowess in the 87 season. See how he did. Tom Brookins in the 87 replay, or in the 87 season, stole 7 bases, got caught 4 times. And our replays, stolen 4 bases, only been caught once. So he's going to go. He has the good lead. He's a 15 and Hell's a 13, but the +1 hold is a 14. So 1-14, he steals it. And he got thrown out. What a throw there by Surhoff. As they caught Tom Brookins. But, I mean, when you roll a 20, Ricky Henderson's going to get caught when you roll a 20. It's just bad luck. So caught stealing is Brookins. Sparky just shakes his head. And here comes Lou Whitaker. 4-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Yount. He's a 2E2. So as a 2 in the outfield, he has to have a 4 or higher to make the play, which he certainly does. And as an E6 in center field, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 15, and 18. 3, 4, 15, and 18. And that is a 17. He barely does it. So trouble with the catch, but Yount does make it 2 down. And that'll bring up Bill Madlock. Struck out his first chance. That's a 1-9 for Madlock. That's a fly to left, and that's going to do it. And that'll do it for Clear. He's going to go 3 innings. He makes the most of that spot start, and Chuck Krim, as he did in the real game, will come in and piggyback off of Clear. Clear's going to go 3 innings. He's going to give up 1 hit, no runs. He did walk 2, and he struck out 3. Of course, a no decision because you have to go 5 innings in order to qualify for a win. So Chuck Krim can come in and possibly vulture a win here, depending on what the Tigers do. I mean, it's only 1-0, so long way to go. So Dan Petry. All right, I got a call I have to take. Sorry about that, folks, but that's something I had to deal with. So we're back now, and I didn't even realize Tabby was. I had the door shut to kind of keep the air conditioned air in this bedroom, and I didn't even realize it. But Tabby's sitting right by the door. She didn't say anything, so I've opened the door now for Tabby to let her come in if she wants. But it's kind of strange. She just sitting out there. She didn't say anything. She's still sitting right at the door. I don't get it, but whatever. All right, let me get back in my swing of things here and figure out what's going on. Dale Swain's going to lead it off in the bottom of the third, I think is what's going on. Sometimes you get a phone call like that, it kind of throws you off what you're trying to do here. But sometimes real life gets in the way, just how that works. All right, so Dale Swain. Swain, the shortstop, is hitting .335. He's the best number 9 hitter in the league, no question about it. .335, 17 home runs, 52 runs batted in. He hit .252 real world. 1-7. He's going to strike out this time. Second strikeout for Petry. Second strikeout for Petry. Here is Felder. That's a 2-6, and that's a pop out to second base. And here is Robin Yount. 5-11, and that is a ballpark blast for Robin Yount. He needs a 1 to 5 to go deep. He certainly has normal power. 1 to 5. Oddly, he's rated as weak power against lefties. That's kind of weird. Normal against righties. 1 to 5. And that's just a deep fly to left. Hauled in at the track by Gibson, and that's going to do it for the Tigers in the third. We played 3. It's 1-0 Milwaukee as we head to the top of the fourth. And new pitcher for the Brew Crew coming in is Chuck Creme de la Creme. We'll get the numbers on Creme. And Chuck Creme, if I can get him on the computer real quick. Here he is. Chuck Creme checks in 6-8, 3.67 ERA on the real season. He also had 12 saves. On the replay, he is 2-2 with 5 saves and a 2.56 ERA, 60 innings pitched, 55 hits, 14 walks, 24 strikeouts. And he'll be facing Kirk Gibson, Alan Trammell, and Matt Noakes. Heart of the order for the Tigers. 5-10, and that's going to be a ballpark blast for Kirk Gibson. Again, County Stadium not as friendly as Tiger Stadium, only 1 to 5. And just a deep fly to right. Wind must be blowing in out here at County Stadium. Holding up these long balls. 1 away for Alan Trammell. He was a strikeout victim his first time up. That's a 2-8 for Trammell, and that's a ground ball to third. 2 down. And that will bring up Matt Noakes. That is a 6-6 lefty, and that's a single for Matt Noakes. He's 2 for 2. He's got the only 2 hits of the game for the Tigers. Both belong to Matt Noakes. He's no threat to run, though. Here's Pat Sheridan. Sheridan walked his first time up. 4-6, and that's a fly to center, and that will end the inning. Tigers are 12 games behind the Brewers. They can't afford to lose any more directly head up. You got to start gaining ground on the people you're trying to catch. You can't drop games. Oh, and we do have a visitor. Move this stuff out of the way. We do have a visitor. Hopefully we'll keep her off the table if possible. Tabby, what do you say? Girl. Making noise? Yeah, you're making noise, aren't you? All right, bottom of the fourth we go. Cecil Cooper. Cecil Cooper is the batter. Cooper line to second his first time up. That's a 3-3, and that's a pop out to third. Ernest Riles makes the catch. 1 away, and that brings up Greg Brock. 6-5. That's an in-home run chance. 1-9. 10-20 is a double. That'll be a double for Greg Brock. Off the wall, just missed the home run, but he'll take the double. 1 out, and here comes Rob Deere. That's a 4-8, and that's a double. That's going to score a run. 1-16 is a double. So back-to-back doubles. Rob Deere has a single and now a double, and the Brew Crew lead it 2-0. Back-to-back doubles that produced a run, and now we have a visitor trying to. Tabby, what are you doing? What are you doing? Maybe I can get her to. She's going to sit on my bullpen, I bet. Are you going to sit on my bullpen? Tabby? Hey. I said sit on the bullpen, not sit on my starting pitcher. Well, if you want to stay there, that's fine. I can live with that. I can still play. Until I need a bullpen or a pinch hitter, I can still play, Tabby. So, all right. She likes to get involved. I don't know why. I think she likes the sound of the dice or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a cat, so I don't know what it is they like and don't like. All right, so Deere RBI double. And that brings up B.J. Surhoff. Surhoff doubled his first time up. 6-7, and that's going to be a base on balls. First walk for Petry, but he's kind of slowly digging himself a little hole here. Now where are you going? Are you going to go back down your perch? Okay, come on. There you go. Most times she just lets me come up here and play peacefully, but sometimes she likes to get involved. All right, Ernest Riles. 4-2, and that's a ground ball first base C. That'll get the runners to second and third, as the only play for Evans is to flip it to Petry covering. So ground out 3-1. With the runners advancing to second and third with 2 outs now, which makes it a clutch situation for Jim Gantner. And in the clutch, Gantner will lose a hit on 110. Everywhere else he is neutral. 1-4 for Gantner, and he's going to ground it back to Petry to end the inning. So Petry does limit the damage to 1 run, but his offense has to get him some runs. It's 2-0 after 4. Here at County Stadium in Milwaukee. Oh, now she wants to get back up here. She's doing this back and forth thing. Please settle down. All right, now you're going to mess up my dice tray. Her tail is over the dice tray, or almost on the dice tray. Tabby. Okay. Well, until I need a bullpen pitcher, I'll be all right. Need a bullpen or a pinch hitter, that's when we're running into trouble. She's just totally laying across the stack of bullpen and bench players for both teams. At least she's not on my X charts. I got my X charts moved out of the way. So, and looks like she's not. You see a little bit of fur right there at the top of the score sheet, but other than that, she seems to be out of the way. All right, Darrell Evans, the batter. That is a 3-7 for Evans, and he strikes out. First strikeout for Krim. Tigers' bats have gone silent, much to Tabby's chagrin. Here's Chet Lemon. 111, and that's a ballpark single check, which is only a 1-6. And it will be a base hit for Chet Lemon. He snuck it through for a 1-out single. Does bring the tying run to the plate in Tom Brookins, third baseman. Brookins walked his first chance. That's a 3-10, and that's another walk. So back-to-back walks for Brookins. He's walked twice. First walk issued by Krim. But now Tigers have first and second with one out, and the order flips over now to Lou Whitaker. But the top of the order has to get something done here. The first four hitters are 0 for 8 combined. Whitaker, Madlock, Gibson, Trammell all 0 for 8 with 3 strikeouts. It's not how you win games. Got to have your big boys do stuff. Here's Whitaker. 5-8, and that's a strikeout. Krim with his second strikeout. Now it's a clutch situation for Bill Madlock. In the clutch for Madlock, he does gain some hits. 1-9 and 1-11 are hits in the clutch. 1-9 and 1-11. That, however, is a 6-6, which is still going to be okay. 1-6 is a double. 7-20 is a single. That is an RBI single. It's a 2-star single. So it's an RBI single. Lemon will score, and the Tigers are finally on the board. Brookins takes third base. RBI single from Bill Madlock. Finally puts Detroit on the board. 7th run batted in for Madlock on the replay. Cuts the lead 2-1. The tying run 90 feet away. And Kirk Gibson's the batter. Kirk Gibson in the clutch will lose a hit on 2-12. We get a 3-10, and he struck him out. So Krim strikes out the side, but in the meantime gives up 2 singles and a walk and a run. And the Tigers cut the lead to 2-1. Sometimes that first run's the hardest one to get, and they broke that ceiling at least. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. And this is the fatigue inning for Petry. He's only rated a 5. Oh, Tabby, your tail's right in the way of the card there. He's only rated a 5 for his fatigue. And you see Tabby's tail just kind of out of the way a little bit. Enough out of the way where I can read the cards, I guess. So Dale Swain will lead it off. Hello, Mr. Gudeman. We do have a little bit of a cat. We had a phone call delay, and now we've got a little bit of a cat delay. You can see the tail right there, top of the score sheet. But she's covering up my bullpen and my pinch hitters if I need them. But right now she's quiet, and I think I can still play. So 2-1, bottom of the 5th. Here's Dale Swain. It's a 6-9 switch hitter batting left. That's a strikeout for Petry. The 5th inning is his fatigue inning, but he hasn't given up anything, so the strikeout is good. And that is strikeout number 3 for Petry. He's gotten Swain twice, as a matter of fact. And we flip the order over now to Mike Felder. Felder's 0 for 2, hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield yet. 2-7, and he still hasn't. That's a ground ball to Evans. He'll take it to the bag himself. 2 up and 2 down to start the bottom of the 5th for Petry. He's looking to carry his endurance into the 6th. And he'll be facing Yount, who is 0 for 2. 3-9 for Yount, and he grounds it to short, 0 for 3 now. So Petry, the 1-2-3 inning, carries full endurance into the 6th inning. We go to the 6th, it's still 2-1 Brew Crew. And Krim, this will be his fatigue inning for relief. His relief fatigue is a 3, and he's starting his 3rd inning of pitching. He'll be facing Trammell. Trammell will step to the plate. He's 0 for 2. 1-3, and that's a fly to left. Hauled in by Felder. 1 away. For Matt Noakes, catcher, he's 2 for 2. That's a 3-8, and he's possibly 3 for 3. 1-10 is a single, 11-20 is a line out. And he gets the base hit. He's 3 for 3. All singles. Good morning, Kathy and Joel. Here's Pat Sheridan. That's a 3-6 for Sheridan, and that's a single to center field. That'll put runners at first and second with only 1 out. And that'll send up Darrell Evans, a tough hitter. Chuck, this is for you also. Don't know how well it'll show up here. But I just snapped this photo of Tabby. There's where she's sitting. You can see where she's sitting in proximity to our game. Proximity to our game right here. You see where she's sitting. Joel, what happened to Mark Clear? Well, Mark Clear is a relief pitcher that Milwaukee used in this. What are you doing, Tabby? Come on. There you go. He's a relief pitcher. He had one spot start on the season, and it was this one. He's not rated. He is not rated as a starting pitcher. He's only rated as a relief pitcher, but he started this game. In real world, I looked up, he went 3 innings. So I capped him at 3 innings regardless. So he pitched the first 3 innings. And in real world, Chuck Krim came in and pitched 4 innings right behind him. So that's the model I'm going by here. So that's why Clear is out and Krim is in. Just trying to follow what they did real world. Joe, I've already got the 25 Action PC, so I will be using that to track the stats on the Colorado thing. Dr. D, I've split them up, as you say, because it's just too much to do all of these in one thing here. It's just too busy. So, yeah, I'm doing those separate. The Havoc rolls and anytime I need a D20 roll, it is a separate thing. All right, so Evans is up first and second. Let's get back to the game. Tabby has jumped down now, so I think we can finish the rest of the game in peace. So Darrell Evans is up 0 for 2, 5-5, and that's a ground ball second base C. That will advance the runners into scoring position, or into scoring position now. And that'll bring up Chet Lemon in a clutch situation. Or as someone once said, a clutch situation. And Lemon will lose that one hit on 312. Everywhere else he is neutral. That's a 4-9, and that's a pop out to third. So Lemon leaves the runners on base. Fails in the clutch. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Petry is fatiguing. He was the 5th, but he went 1, 2, 3. So he's got full endurance for the 6th inning. And he'll be facing Cooper, Brock, and Deere. I've had all kinds of things in this game. I had a phone call I had to take. I had 2 different cat interruptions. Hopefully now, knock on wood. Knock on wood. Hopefully we have a uninterrupted game the rest of the way. Joe, Tabby gets her summer fur cut tomorrow. It will not. We're not looking forward to it because she does not like it. But I mean, it's going to be almost 100 degrees today, and it's going to be just as hot tomorrow. So I know she's going to feel better. All right, here's Cecil Cooper. She won't like it at the time, but she'll like it later. 2-9 for Cooper, and that's a pop out to first. 1 away. And that brings up Greg Brock. Usually we do it in 2 stages. We give her a little, we call it a sweater, which is a real light trim. And then once it gets to July and August, that's when we do the whole, if you remember the old-fashioned term crew cut, that's kind of what she gets. She doesn't like it, but she feels much, much cooler. And then her fur grows back out in time for the fall. So here's Brock, 4-4. That's a fly ball center field X. Center fielder is Chet Lemon. He's very good. 2-4. So when a center fielder 2 just needs a 4 or higher needs a 4 or higher to make the play. And he can't even do that. 2 and a 2 is going to be a single. Thought Chet Lemon could get to that. E4 in center field. He's got to avoid 4, 16, and 18. That's a 5. So we got a rare play. SI2 rare play. Let's see if anything interesting comes out of that. Nobody's on base, so that kind of takes away from everything. Single, 2 stars. Where is that in the rare play? Here we go, up here. Batter single with base runners advancing. All right, now this is interesting. This says as the batter rounds first, the fielder throws the ball behind him and catches him off the bag for an out. But there's no runners advancing. But I'm going to say I'm going to still play it. But that doesn't make any sense because the ball's hit the center field. So I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. That doesn't sound kosher to me. Usually that's hit to right field when they throw behind them like that. That's a tough call on that one. I'm not sure if I should do that one or not. Boy, that's a tough call. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and play it as a single. And then he's thrown out 8-2 or 8-3. It's a rare play, so I'm going to call it a rare play. Single. And he is out 8-3 as he throws behind. I guess he was just, Brock was daydreaming or something. Or maybe he rounded the bag and fell down. All sorts of things could have happened there. But that's what we're going to call it. It's going to be 2 outs. Base is clear. And here's Rob Deere. 2-5, and he walks. That is the second walk issued by Petry. And again, Deere has a chance to get a lead. He needs a 7, though. Got to have a 7 to get the good lead. And he does not get it. Here's Surhoff. 5-8 for Surhoff. That's a strikeout for Petry. And Petry will carry Endurance into the 7th now. That is the 4th strikeout for Petry. We played 6. It's 2-1 Brew Crew. A lot lower scoring than the real world 8-5 game. Chuck Krim has a little bit of endurance remaining. And I can't go by who they brought in real world because they were behind at this point, the Brewers in real world. So they brought in lesser relievers. But being ahead 2-1, you would think that Troublehorn would use his better relievers, not his terrible relievers. He only has one good reliever left, and that's the closer, Plesac. He does have a couple of schlubs, although Mirabella's not bad, but John Henry Johnson's terrible, 9.57 ERA. Paul Mirabella is loosening in the Milwaukee bullpen in case Krim gets tired. Of course, they could use Plesac for 2 innings as well, but right now they're going to have Krim go as far as he can. Chuck Krim. Here is Brookins. Now, we're in the top of the 7th, so there is a chance that we could use pinch hitters if the Tigers wanted to go that route for Brookins, although he has walked twice. But they do have some decent – they have a decent – and they're going to bring in Dave Bergman. Pinch hit, and we're going to move Darrell Evans from first base to third base. So he will switch to third base now. Darrell Evans. So Bergman will pinch hit and stay in the game to play first base. So Bergman is now the first baseman. And actually, I should change this. I didn't need to do this. I can just change that 1 to a 3, and it just works out perfectly there, doesn't it? Let's see. What is Evans rating at third? It's a 4E37. So instead of a 4E5, he's a 4E37. That'll be Evans's new rating. Bergman at first base is a 2E12. So he will switch to a 2E12. And he runs at an 11. All right. So hopefully that's clear as mud. Bergman will pinch hit for Brookins. Stay in the game to play first base, and they'll move Evans from first base to third base. So let's get the numbers on Bergman, bring him on the computer. Tigers need offense, and Bergman is a better hitter, no question about it, than Brookins is. Bergman on the replays hitting 268, 2 homers, 12 driven in. He hit 273 real world. So he's a 273 hitter. Brookins is a 241 hitter. So going with the offense here. 4-4, does it pay off? Ground ball, third base, X. Well, we don't know. Third baseman Riles is kind of iffy at 4E28, so this might help. 4-11, though, he might get to that. I think he will get to that. 4-11 is a G3, does get to it, but he's got to deal with the E28 at third base. So E28, he's got 11, 13, 14, and 15. And that is a 13, so that will be an error on Riles. E28, there's a 13 right smack dab in the middle of the page. So it will be a one-base error on Ernest Riles, E5. That's the first error of the game on either team. And Bergman is your runner at first. He's not very fast. He's not going to go anywhere. Here's Lou Whitaker and Paul Mirabella ready in the bullpen, probably to pitch to Gibson, most likely. Krim to Whitaker. That's a 2, so a check balk or pass ball. We're looking at a balk on Krim. Have to go to the computer to get his balk rating, as they're not listed on the cards. Krim's balk rating is a 3. So there's no balk. Here's Whitaker. 1-9 for Whitaker. Ground ball, third base, B. That's a fielder's choice, 5-4, but it does put a better runner on first base than Whitaker, although it does cost you an out. But at least Whitaker now is a better base runner than Bergman was. And he's got potential to steal a base. Although Krim is a -2 on his hold. So if you got the lead, it'd be a 1-12. And you got big boys coming up, so I think they're going to hold Whitaker there. They'll hold him on, but they won't try to steal. And here is Bill Madlock. He's 1 for 3. 3-5 for Madlock. It's a split. 1's a single. Anything else, he lines it to Swain at short. And that's a liner to short. So now it's coming down to Gibson, and that's going to be it for Krim. Krim's going to be pulled, and they're going to bring in the lefty Mirabella to face Kirk Gibson. Paul Mirabella will be coming on in a tight spot to face Kirk Gibson. So let's bring him on in the computer, get his numbers compared to real world. You can see the real world numbers on Mirabella's card already. And on the replay, Mirabella is 3-1 with a 2.16 ERA, 17 innings pitched, 14 hits, 10 walks, 6 strikeouts. He did have 2 saves real world. He's now facing Kirk Gibson with 2 outs and Whitaker at first base. You're in the top of the 7th. That's a 1-10 for Gibson, and he singles to right field. Whitaker, 15, but being held as a 14. 2 outs makes him a 17. To go from first to third on a single to right, you add 2 more, and that will make that an 18. Deere is a -2, make it a 1-16. But if you throw through, you allow Gibson to get in scoring position. So they will throw it to the cutoff man and keep Gibson at first base. They don't want him getting in scoring position as a go-ahead run. So it will be a base hit. And runners are now on the corners with 2 outs for the league's leading hitter, Alan Trammell. Gibson could try to get a lead, but you kind of want to let Trammell do his thing. He is the league's leading hitter. He's hitting 396 now. Because of the fact that he's 0 for 3, he's dropped below 400, but he's still hitting 396. He's still a good hitter. And in the clutch, he does lose a couple of hits here, so keep an eye on that. But they're going to trust Trammell here. See what he can do. That is a 3-5, and he gets a single 2 stars, so their trust was well placed, and we got a tie ball game. RBI single, Alan Trammell has tied this game. 58th RBI by Alan Trammell. We are tied at 2 apiece. Trammell could try for the lead, but again, you do have a good hitter in Noakes who's 3 for 3, albeit facing now a lefty. So you don't want to run yourself out of that. Runners at the corners, clutch situation for Noakes. He will lose a couple of hits, 1-6 and 1-12. Mirabella, 6-6, and he grounds it to second to end the inning. But we got a tie ball game as we head to the 7th inning stretch. And we'll get the numbers. We'll finish up the numbers on Krim. Clean up his pitching line. Do that on the computer. I also need to make my defensive changes. Move Darrell Evans to third base. And put in Bergman at first base. Now we'll go to the computer and get the final numbers on Krim. Krim goes 3 2/3. Going to give up 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 of which was earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. And Petry's still out there. He still has a little bit of fatigue left, or endurance left, I guess you want to call it. And it'll be Ernest, Riles, Gantner, and Swain. We are at the 7th inning stretch, but we're just going to keep rolling on. Ernest Riles. 2-7 for Riles. Struck him out. Strikeout number 5. Petry still seems to have juice, especially now that they've scored some runs for him. Here's Gantner. 5-11, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-6. And that's a 4 base hit for Gantner. Gantner's aboard. He might be looking to get a lead. Try to get himself in scoring position with 1 out. That's a 2. Chance for a balk on Petry. Petry has a 3 balk rating. And he does balk. So Gantner, while not stealing the base, bothered Petry enough to induce a balk. And that did the same job as stealing the base. So that'll bring up Swain, and Tiger bullpen is now loosening. They do have action in the Tiger bullpen. They do have left-handed action in the Tiger bullpen. And the left-hander that's loosening is this guy, Willie Hernandez. Willie Hernandez is loosening in the Tiger bullpen. Mark Thurman's been overworked, so they need to go to Willie Hernandez. Probably a good idea anyway, because they really need this game. They need to play this almost like the 7th game of a World Series. They really can't afford to drop another game behind the Brewers. Here's Swain. That's a 5-5, and that's a fly to center field, hauled in by Lemon, 2 down. Now we have a clutch situation for Mike Felder. Felder in the clutch will gain a hit on 1-11 and on 2-2. Petry hanging on, trying to get through 7 innings. 5-8 for the switch hitter batting left. Struck him out. Huge strikeout for Petry. And Petry guts out 7 innings. And that's going to be it for Petry. He's going to go 7 innings. Don't want to push the envelope too far with him. He will get a no decision. However, if the Tigers take the lead in the top of the 8th and hold it, he would actually qualify for a win. So we'll go to the computer, get Petry's numbers. All in all, a pretty good outing for Petry. 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. Walked 2, struck out 6. And Willie Hernandez will be coming on to pitch the 8th inning for the Tigers. So yeoman work there for Petry. And now we start the top of the 8th. It'll be Sheridan, Evans, and Lemon to face Mirabella. Oh, and now somebody's back. Thought we were past this, but part 2 has returned, apparently. What are you going to do? All right. Tabby. Now your tail's getting my coffee. Now we're getting the real territory, Tabby. You mess with the coffee. That's where we're getting into real. And I need to make a pinch hitting move, Tabby, because we're not going to let Sheridan face the lefty Mirabella. I don't think. Although I do like his defense in right field. And I don't want to give up that defense. You know what? We're going to go ahead and, man, hold on, Tabby. I really want to use Larry Herndon here. You know what? I am Larry Herndon here. I don't care about the defense. They need offense. They got to score runs. There aren't that many right field X chances. So Larry Herndon's going to come on and pinch hit for Sheridan. And, of course, stay in the game to play right field against the lefty Mirabella. Just feel like you got to make an offensive move here. So he's in pinch hit and stay in the game to play right field. Larry Herndon. We'll get the numbers on Herndon. Hopefully Tabby's tail is not too intrusive. Let's get Herndon in the game. Herndon on the replay is hitting .330, 6 homers, 18 driven in. He had .324 real world, which is why I want him in the game. Because of his bat. All right, here's Herndon facing Mirabella to lead off the top of the 8th. 3-7, and that's a walk. So Herndon will draw the base on balls. He's not much of a runner, so they won't try anything there. Evans can handle lefties, so they're going to leave him out there. Mirabella to Evans. 5-8. Ground ball, second base X. This could be a double play possibility. Gantner is a 2E14. 2 and a 20. That's a G1 all day long. E14 at second base. Got to avoid 3, 15, 16, and 18. And that's a 15. How do you like that? What a deal. What a dagger there for the Brewers. E14 second baseman. There's a 15 sitting right here, and Gantner boots it. That would have been a tailor-made double play. And so Giovanni's Tailor Shop is not happy that they lost part of their plug, because that should have been a tailor-made double play, but didn't happen. And now here's Chet Lemon. Bergman and Whitaker are on deck, 2 lefties, so they're going to stick with Mirabella. I mean, that Mirabella did the job. He got the ground ball he needed, but Gantner just let him down. 2-2, and that's a ballpark blast for Chet Lemon. It's only a 1-5. And it's a 12. Deep fly to left, 1 away. So Mirabella catches a break there. And now here's Dave Bergman. Doesn't do much against the lefties, but they really don't have any other options right now. 3-7, and that's a strikeout. So now it's up to Lou Whitaker in the clutch situation. Oh, Tabby, watch out. All right, Lou Whitaker in a clutch situation against left-handers. He loses a couple hits, 3-7 and 3-10. Got to avoid those. That's a 2. Chance for a balk on Mirabella or pass ball. He has no balk rating. But we're actually checking pass ball on Surhoff, which is a 5. And there's no pass ball. So here's Whitaker, clutch situation. 6-6, and he grounds it to second to end the inning. Tigers a missed opportunity, and they weaken their defense in hopes of getting a better offense, but just didn't work out for them. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 2, and now it's time to bring in Willie Hernandez. The only problem with Willie Hernandez is I think Tabby's sitting on him, but I'll have to gently move her and acquire Willie Hernandez. Or Guillermo, don't call me Willie Hernandez, whatever his preferred thing is. Wait a minute, what's going on here with this? Hold on. All right, let me put this in the computer the correct way. Forgot to put in the strikeout. Now we put in the ground out to second. All right. So Herndon will go in the game in right field. Computer's not letting me move on until I put him in right field. And now Guillermo Hernandez, or Willie Hernandez, whatever you want to call him, is the new pitcher. See if I can gently secure Willie Hernandez from under Tabby's nose here. Actually, no, I already had him pulled out. So I got lucky because I already had him pulled out ahead of time. So that made it a little bit easier to get to. So let's look at Willie Hernandez. On the 87 season, Willie Hernandez was, if I can get it to focus, 3-4 with a 367 earned run average. 3-4, 367 earned run average, and he had 8 saves. On the replay, he's 0-2 with 5 saves and a 5.27 ERA, 14 innings pitched, 12 hits, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. And he will be starting out facing Yount, Cooper, and Brock, although I believe they will pinch hit for Cooper with a right-hander. And Tabby's sitting on the Milwaukee bench as well, so got to move her for that. Or maybe she's getting up anyway. Looks like she's getting up anyway, so that will help. She's doing her back and forth. So, all right, now I can at least get to the bench of the Brewers. And we look and see who's available off that bench that can pinch hit. Right-handed hitters. Cooper is a DH, so you can pretty much use anybody you want to be a pinch hitter. They do have Glenn Braggs, and they do have Bill Schroeder, a couple tough righties that they could go to. Schroeder is your backup catcher. So I'm thinking they're going to go to Braggs. I'm thinking they're going to go with Braggs. So they're going to pinch hit Glenn Braggs for Cecil Cooper when the time comes. Braggs will be the new DH. All right, so first things first, Robin Yount will lead us off. Yount is 0 for 3. No tech. No. Come on. That's enough now. No. We've had this back and forth. 1-5 for Yount against the home run chance 1-10 for Robin Yount. A 1-10 home run chance for Yount. That's a 12, so he'll settle with a double. So Willie Hernandez caught a break there. That could have been a go-ahead home run, but it was limited to a double. And now the pinch hitter, Glenn Braggs. Go get Braggs off of the computer. Bring him in as a replacement for Cecil Cooper. First base is open. There is an option to walk him and take your chances with the next 3 guys because Braggs did hit 269 with 13 home runs. In the replay, he's hitting 282, 7 home runs, 39 driven in. That would be a gutsy, ballsy move to walk him here with nobody out. And then you got Brock coming up with Deere. Man, hate putting guys on base, so I think we're going to go ahead and pitch to Braggs. But the thought was there to intentionally walk him with first base open, that's for sure. Just can't pull that trigger. Here's Braggs, 6'5", and maybe I should have. 1-2 is a home run. 3-20 is a fly to right field. That's a 4, so they barely missed the home run. Barely. But I think on a fly to right field, I believe it has to be a B question mark for me to move it. I don't think a fly ball B will let me do it. I don't know. Let's see here. I don't believe it will. So we're going to hold Yount at second base. So 1 away. They dodged that one. Here's Greg Brock. So that paid off not walking him. 2-5. Ground ball first base B. That'll get the runner to third. As first baseman Bergman takes it to the bag himself, but going to third base now is Yount with 2 outs, and it's all up to Rob Deere. Deere, you could walk Deere. First base is open. You got the lefty Surhoff behind him. But Deere gives you a lot of strikeout potential too. So Willie Hernandez says, let me pitch to him. Famous last words by Rich Gossage in 1984. Let me pitch to him. Here's Deere in the clutch, and Deere in the clutch against the lefty is completely neutral. 4-11. Ground ball first base X. It's all up to Bergman, who's a 2E12 to make the play. 2-17 is no problem whatsoever. E12 for a first baseman. First baseman E12. He's got to avoid 3, 6, 9, 15, and 18. And that's a 10. That'll be just fine. Bergman gets it, flips it to Hernandez covering, and they pitch around the leadoff double. We go to the 9th. Still tied at 2. And now the Brew Crew will turn to Dan Plesac. It's no longer a safe situation when it's a tie game in the 9th for the home team. Home pitcher cannot get a save anymore, so you might as well bring him in. So Dan Plesac will come on for the Brewers. It's a -2 hold. We'll get the numbers on Mirabella on the computer. Tabby's on her perch, and I got her to sit there and stay still, so hopefully that's a good thing. 1 1/3 for Mirabella. 2 hits, no runs, a walk and a strikeout. So Plesac will be coming on to pitch for the Brewers in this top of the 9th. And we'll get his numbers. Tabby. So that's going to leave John Henry Johnson and Bill in Jay Aldrich are the 2 bullpen arms still left for the Brewers. So we go to the Brewer closer, Dan Plesac. It's possible, Dr. D. I've got too much stuff going on to check it out right now. I got too much stuff going on with Tabby and everything else. So if he could have advanced, maybe he could have. I don't know. And now I got a scam call coming in. I got everything going on here. So I'm not going to be able to cover every single little jot and tittle of every game when there's a lot of stuff going on. So Plesac, 5 and 6, the 2.61 ERA in real world. And we'll check his numbers on the replay. He also has 23 saves real world. In the replay, 5 and 2, 3.64 ERA and 16 saves, 30 innings pitched, 20 hits, 10 walks, 35 strikeouts. No, Tabby, get back. No, back. Just wanting to jump up here again. I don't want her to. Stay down. No, stay down here. Hey, don't you bite at me. Stay there. All right, so Bill Madlock, Gibson, and Trammell. Heart of the order for the Tigers here in the top 9th. This is where you make hay, right here. This is where you make hay if you are the Tigers. 6-7 struck him out. That's not making hay. That's striking out. So Madlock out on strikes. And that'll bring up Kirk Gibson, lefty. 2-9, and that's a walk. So that's what the Tigers needed, was a base runner. Not sure. Let's see. Plesac is a -2, but boy, if Gibson can get the lead, you'll have a good chance to steal this. Needs a 5 or a 6. Doesn't get the lead, he'll hold. And here comes Trammell. That's the guy you want. If you're the Tigers, this is the guy you want up there. 2-6 for Trammell. He's going to single to right field. Let's see. Gibson runs at a 17, but was being held, makes him a 16. But the throw from right field to third base, you add 2, gives him an 18. -2 arm gives him a 16. But if you throw through, you let Trammell get to second base as well. So I don't think the 1-16, it's an 80% chance that he's going to be safe. So I don't think the Brewers want to go that route. So they will throw it into second base. Runners at the corners now. Only one out for Matt Noakes. Now do you play the infield in, or you try for a double play against Matt Noakes? I think you have to play the infield in. I don't think you can trust that you're going to get a double play ground ball. They're going to play the infield in. They don't want a ground ball B scoring a run. So the infield is in. That's a 4-3. Fly ball left field X. We are looking at Felder. He's a 2E11. So this could be a sacrifice fly, depending on the double die. For a 2, all they need is a 5 or, well, basically, they need a 15 or less. Anything 15 or less, they'll score a run. It's a 14, so that is an F2. That will be a sacrifice fly. Now make sure there's no error. E11. And that's an 11. E11 and an 11. No error there, but it is an F2, which is good enough for a sacrifice fly to left field. And Trammell comes through to bring home the go-ahead run. I'm sorry, Noakes, not Trammell. Noakes comes through. He might be the player of the game. He's 3 for 4 with a sacrifice fly that might be the game winner. So he's definitely in the lead for player of the game unless Milwaukee does something in the bottom half of the inning. So here's Herndon now with Trammell at first and 2 outs. But Trammell might be looking to run as well to get in scoring position. He needs a 5 to get the good lead. Doesn't get it, so he'll hold, and here's Herndon. Larry Herndon. 2-11 for Herndon. That's a ground ball to third to end the inning, but the Tigers take that 3-2 lead, and we go to the bottom of the ninth. Willie Hernandez back out to try to secure it. They do have Mike Henneman loosely in the bullpen just in case, but the Brewers have lefties coming up. 3 lefties, as a matter of fact. So I think they're going to stick to the lefty plan of Willie Hernandez unless he gets into trouble. So bottom of the ninth we go, and here is Surhoff to lead it off. 3-9, and he flies to right field, 1 away. This would be a very important win for the Tigers if they can get it. They would pull to within 11 games of the Brewers instead of falling 13 games behind. Riles could be pinch hit for. 261 hitter, but they're going to bring in Bill Schroeder to pinch hit. And Schroeder can tie the game with one swing of the bat. Schroeder hit 332 with 14 home runs and just 250 at-bats. And see the diamond shots here against his lefty, but the ballpark might have something to say about that too. But Brew Crew is going to have to go to their right-handed pinch hitters, try to get something done. So they're going to bring in Schroeder to hit for Riles. Riles was 0 for 2. Did have a sacrifice fly, but they got to go for some bigger bats. And Schroeder's the biggest bat they have on the bench. So Schroeder hitting 300 even on the replay and 120 at bats, 4 homers, 23 driven in. He hit 332 real world. That's a 5-12 off of Hernandez. It's a fly ball right field X. That's Herndon. Remember, Herndon is in the game now. We sacrifice defense to get the offense. Herndon is a 4 E4. So he's a 4-rated right fielder. And a 4 and a 5 is going to drop in for a base hit almost certainly. 4 and a 5 will be a base hit. Make sure there's no error. He's an E4. E4, and that's a 14. There's a 15 there, but no 14. But it will be a base hit, pinch hit single for Bill Schroeder. He is a tying run. They will have a pinch runner for Schroeder, and that will be Rick Manning. Rick Manning will come in and pinch run for Schroeder. So Rick Manning. Willie Hernandez didn't even check his numbers here. He's a -2 hold. Noakes is a +1, so he's a -1 hold. But still, Manning, if he gets the lead, it's almost automatic. But he needs a 5 to get the lead. So we're going to bring in Rick Manning to pinch run. Rick Manning. Will run. At least Pashoric and Castillo on the bench for the Brewers. And with Gantner coming up, they're going to pinch hit for Gantner too with Castillo. He is a switch hitter versus a lefty. Or do they use Pashoric? Let's see. No, they're going to use Castillo. So we will bring in Castillo, assuming I can find him. Yeah, there he is. Tabby's got me all messed up here. So Manning, first of all, Manning's going to try to get a lead. That's the first thing that's going to happen. He's going to attempt to get a lead, needs a 5. Doesn't get it, so he'll hold. But he runs at a 16, which is important. And now the pinch hitter for Gantner will be Juan Castillo. So Juan Castillo, your pinch hitter. Castillo on the replay is only hitting 199. No homers, 14 driven in. He had 224 real world. Manning with good speed at first base is being held on. Hernandez to the right-handed hitting Castillo. The switch hitter now batting right-handed. That's a 4-8, and that's a strikeout for Willie Hernandez. Out number 2, and now it's up to the dangerous Dale Swain, switch hitter. Henneman is ready in the bullpen, but I think they're going to trust Willie Hernandez to close it out. Facing Dale Swain, who is 0 for 3. Or do they want to go to Henneman? No, they're gonna stick with Willie Hernandez. Swain 311, and that is a ballpark single check, 1-6. And that's going to be an out. That's going to end it right there. A line out to short. Had we brought in Henneman, that 3-6 would have been a ballpark blast, but that would have failed too. But either way, the Tigers eke out a 3-2 victory over the Milwaukee Brewers. Nip and tuck all the way. But the Tigers hang on and win it. And it's actually going to be Willie Hernandez that picks up the win in relief. Get the totals off the computer. Willie Hernandez goes 2 innings. Gives up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout. With the win, Hernandez gains his first win of the replay. He's now 1-2. Plesac takes the loss in relief. He's now 5-3. As he went 1 inning, gave up a hit and a run, a walk and a strikeout. To put in the totals for the Tigers, 3 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. For the Brewers, 2 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors. Player of the game, Matt Noakes. He went 3 for 4. And his sacrifice fly in the 9th was the difference. So Matt Noakes, your player of the game, Matt Noakes. Single, and a sacrifice fly to be the difference. I'll try, Kathy. It's supposed to be 100 degrees today. I do need to go to the store later. So I want to go before noon so I can beat the heat, the extreme heat. Right now I think it's about 92, but it's going to be about 99 by about 1 o'clock. So I want to beat that heat for sure. So now we've completed the month of June in the replay. The month of June has been completed. So what I'm going to do is do a short video over the weekend on the computer, and I'll post it probably Sunday, to show all the statistics that have been accumulated through the June 30th date, the standings, the league leaders, any notable individual performers that are, at the top of their game, but basically just run through all the menus showing the league leaders, strikeout leaders, home run leaders, batting average leaders, ERA leaders, and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. So with the win, let's go to the standings now. We have complete standings at the end of the month of June, and Milwaukee stands at 50 and 23. The Tigers are 39 and 34. They are 11 games back. So instead of had they lost, they would have dropped to 13 games back. But with the win, they're 11 games back. And with also the Brewers losing, the Yankees are now 9 games back. Toronto is 5 games back. Milwaukee is 13 games better than what they were real world. They were only 37 and 36 real world. They are 13 games better, which is why they have such a big lead. The Tigers were 41 and 32 real world, so they're only 2 games difference between their one-loss record now and real world. It's just the fact that the Brewers are overperforming. And, of course, the Yankees are underperforming. Yankees are 5 games worse, but the Blue Jays are actually 1 game better than they were real world, but they're 5 games back, and that's just the way it works. But we've got a ways to go. We're not quite to the halfway point yet. So once I play the 2 games offline, we'll be at game 527 for Monday, and I think I got to get to about 560 or so to have the halfway point. You figure every team plays 162 games, so they got to get to 81 games to be at the halfway point. And a lot of these teams, most of them, are around the 75 to 76 game range of games played. So we're not quite halfway there, but we're getting there. We are plugging along, as they say. So later today, I believe I was watching Spokane Steve yesterday, and I think he said he's got something going on today where he's not going to be streaming. So today, or this afternoon, we're looking at the first game in the Rockies Horror Baseball show, where I'm going to start playing the 2025 Colorado Rockies season. Of course, this the season they were 43 and 119, I believe, was their overall record. So I got the 2025 set, so I want to use it for something. So that's what I'm going to be doing, either this afternoon or tonight. I haven't decided which I'm going to do it. Of course, tomorrow we have the NBC Game of the Week at noon Eastern. That's on Fall Classic Baseball, 1979 season. The Detroit Tigers, another scam call coming in. Detroit Tigers will be hosting the California Angels in that one. And, of course, on tomorrow night will be the final round of the Players' Championship, TPC Sawgrass, and History Maker Golf. So that's what's on tap for this weekend on the channel. So that's going to do it from here for the 87 replay on this Friday morning. Hope you all have a great day, whatever you have planned. Pardon Tabby's multiple interruptions, but I don't know. Sometimes you got to let Tabby be Tabby and just deal with it. So just the way it is. But that's going to do it from here. Hope everybody has a great day, nice weekend, whatever you have planned. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.